Good morning and welcome back to another video with your financial independence. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we're talking about SoFi stock today. And if you couldn't tell from my last video, I said that I'm very interested and I basically told y'all the buying positions that I'm going to be buying. Today, slight hint, I'm pretty sure you can tell by the video that we may or may not have bought. So I'm going to show y'all all of that, how much I bought. There's a bunch of individual orders that I bought at. We're going to be going over the chart. And then I also have a video from the Motley Fool that goes over some really good talking points. But as you know, I always got to plug this in here. If you enjoy the content, but only if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and then you can hit the bell notification, and then a like is always appreciated. But without further ado, without wasting y'all's time, keep this video nice and short. As you can see here, we were up about 4% this morning on SoFi stock, somewhere around that range. It's kind of downtrended a little bit, but yeah, at 9:30 in the morning, it was $19.78. And I bought a little bit lower than that, so I'm glad I didn't buy at the beginning. But I am building my position very heavy in this stock and very fast. I want to have my position built out before earnings come out, which is, in about, 3 weeks or so, maybe a month. So now this video is about 4 minutes, and they're basically is kind of like a podcast overview, so they don't throw up charts, but he does explain everything in a very good meaning.
One that I find really kind of a fascinating case is SoFi, ticker symbol SOFI. This is one that went public by SPAC earlier this year. And the reason I'm really excited about this one, it's not...
I do want to pause it real fast just so I can throw in a little bit of context on what I believe. I believe the only reason why this stock has not skyrocketed yet is because it's still caught up in the whole SPAC thing, which has really killed Hyliion. Nothing really bad fundamentally has came out of the company, but that's another video. But that's the only reason I feel like this stock is still at good buying levels, is because it's a SPAC. Some investors are still worried about the company. But that's just my opinion. Let's get on with the video.
Just because their recent earnings numbers have been impressive, their recent growth numbers have been accelerating, which is really rare for a company that's growing that fast. So just let me name a couple statistics. SoFi grew its member count at 113% year over year in the second quarter. More than doubling. Not only was that an impressive growth rate, that's the 8th consecutive quarter that growth rate has increased. In the first quarter, it was 110%. In the fourth quarter of 2020, it was 90%, the year-over-year growth rate. The third quarter, it was 74%, and on and on. So if that number keeps accelerating, things could get really interesting for SoFi. And the part of their business, there are two main products that SoFi offers. There's lending products, which is how it got its start. They're an alternative lender. And then financial services product, which is a new and by far the more exciting part of the business. This is their investment platform, their money accounts, their credit cards, things like that. That part of the business is growing exponentially. I wish I could share with podcast listeners this chart, but SoFi's, if I were teaching exponential growth in a math class, this is the chart I would use to show a real world example of it.
That's great.
It was up to financial services products. The count of financial services products that customers use was up 243% in the second quarter.
Wow.
243%. And this is not a small business.
That's astonishing.
This isn't like it went from 1 to 4. Like their product count is in the millions. So if that growth stays anywhere near that level, it's going to be a really, really interesting quarter and an interesting couple of years, because financial services products, we've talked about this in our bank accounts with, I believe, Wells Fargo for both of us. It's really, customers don't like to switch those.
Oh, yeah.
So once SoFi lands a customer, that's usually years of recurring revenue and a long-term relationship between them. So 243% growth in customers that can stick around for years and years is pretty impressive. They were profitable on an adjusted EBITDA basis. They're still kind of losing money. They've been raising capital hand over fist in a good way at a very cheap cost of capital. They're doing this tech trend where they raised $1.1 billion recently in convertible notes that pay 0% interest. and they let the bearers convert to common stock at about 40% over the current stock price.
Wow.
So before there would be any dilution, stockholders would have to win by 40%. That's an incredible cost of capital.
Confidence.
It is, but also, that's certainly a sign. You don't read too much into it, I guess, but it's certainly a sign that there's a lot of faith out there that what SoFi is doing is working.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, there are people who think this is going to be the next 10-bagger in the financial sector. No. I don't know if I would go that far, but I'm a big believer in the company. I'm a shareholder myself. I've added to my position several times since I went public. And this is one that I will really be paying attention to, just because, like I said, accelerating growth is really exciting. Strong growth is great. Don't get me wrong. All the growth companies we follow have impressive growth, but accelerating growth, especially when it's a 3-digit number, is really impressive.
Especially when it's 243% as far as their investing platforms. Now we're going to get into what have I been doing with the stock. I did say on the previous video that I'm going to start my initial position and doing more and more research with the company. I'm not going to wait for earnings to come out because I don't want it to shoot up 20-30%. Nobody knows if it will or not. I just don't want that to happen to me. So I am building out my position very rapidly. And we're going to get into that right here. So I bought a couple other stocks that we can shortly go over. So today I bought 55 shares at $19.31. And then on the 14th, I bought, that's today. I bought another $1,062. And then I bought some True Leaf, which was about $425. Added to that position. Had a nice downward day, like 4-point-something%. And then I bought SoFi on the 12th for $934. And then I also started a position in Lemonade for about $1,285. That's not it. I bought another 70 shares today at $18.97. So slowly adding. I want this to be at least a 5-figure position, which means, that's going to at least hold about, quick math, like 20% weight in my portfolio. I'm very confident in this stock. And then seeing what the potential TAM is, or the total addressable market, is insane with this company. So, as always, if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to try to keep it short. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the content, and catch me back on the next video.